Bitcoin triangles everywhere. So I'm in on the daily level here, and I've seen people pointing out this kind of consolidation zone, which could be sort of a bull pivot out to a break here, or pointing out this kind of consolidation zone where we could be getting some sort of reversal shape. And I wanted to look at this as the daily. I want to look at the weekly, the monthly, the yearly. There's triangles and reversal patterns shaping up all over Bitcoin. Really interesting. Bitcoin's crazy. Let's take a look at it. This is Brian Lewis with MMT Investing. And things just changed. So if we zoom out as far as I can get out on this daily here, I've seen a lot of people pointing at this or this kind of as a triangle consolidation pattern. And let me switch out to weekly candles or dailies. So if we come out a little bit farther, you can see this. We get the little tiny daily red triangle in here inside of a pink kind of weekly triangle inside of a larger, since before the big bubble. And this is a more legitimate triangle consolidation pattern where we're hitting both sides of the thing back and forth, whereas these other ones were just kind of along the bottom line, and maybe there's a top line here, but it's kind of hard to place that thing. And also, I tried to set up my kind of increasing steepness bubble patterns on Bitcoin, and it doesn't exactly shape up like a sovereign debt bubble does. Where you get the credit contraction cycles and the back tests on the way down. But you still can see these kind of support bull lines that have supported it along different areas. And this bottom blue line looks like a pretty good bottom support along this entire structure here. But I mean, as you can see here, we've broken underneath all of the previous support levels. And this being a support level doesn't mean you can't consolidate and break underneath it, but it's definitely a bull kind of a bull line, which you could probably paint yellow here, and you get these kind of different levels. And I guess I wanted to come into the crash and say that Bitcoin does look like it's going to make some moves, and there's a lot of signals, reversal kind of signals, but I wanted to do a little bit more of a macro analysis on how it's performing. Well, I guess a couple of things. So I don't know if right now is exactly when it looks like it's going to do a huge reversal. I mean, I think it's farther out here towards the presidential election on the large scale. Looks like it could be a bigger shift. And this triangle that people are pointing out, I'm about to get in here and show you what this is. It's not a triangle. And either is the red one. And it doesn't even have anything to do with Bitcoin. So here we go. Feb 20, the great everything bubble pop, and we get our 1, 2, 3 dead cat bounce. This is an ABC Elliott wave down that we got in the S&P. I'm drawing the S&P chart here, and then the S&P we get a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let me draw that a little better. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the S&P, and what we see with silver and with Bitcoin, these like semi-monetary assets, is that they are crashing with the market, although probably not crashing as far as the market crashed. So they're crashing a little bit less far than the market crashes, and they're bouncing a little bit less high than the market is bouncing. But in general, they're just following the pattern of the market crash, and all of these movements have nothing to do with Bitcoin itself. It's just the market crash movements. And what you get in gold and silver and Bitcoin and precious metals, any of the alternative monetary assets, is you get people that have to sell their monetary assets to cover their margin calls. And so what happens is the monetary assets follow the same downward movement as the rest of the market because of margin calls. And this has more to do with larger investors than it does with random people investing a little bit in Bitcoin. This is a thing that happens in huge monetary assets in gold and silver. And Bitcoin looks a whole lot like silver. As we see, gold on the up moves is getting way, way bigger up moves. But silver looks just like this. It's kind of a semi-monetary asset that people aren't really trusting as money right now. And it's not shooting back up. So it's getting sold on margin call, and then it's getting a weak bounce. Sold on margin call, getting a weak bounce. Sold, weak. Okay, and then right here, this is not a triangle. This is just the end of a 5-wave here on the whole S&P, and the cyclical model, the Elliott models and the cyclical model. So the cyclical model just says to expect a down and a bounce and a bounce, because we've just switched into a bear market and we're in a credit contraction cycle in a bear market. So you just get a down move and a bounce and a bounce, and it's a 3 or 4 month kind of credit contraction cycle that you're going to get that general movement from the cyclical perspective. And then on the Elliott wave perspective, on a bear market, you look for the corrective waves, the ABC waves down, and then you look for the impulse waves up here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up, and then you just get the next ABC wave down, which would just be like, well, probably wider than that. That way, ABC over there, down, and the C wave, this is an ABC wave, but it's also the A leg of the next level. So let's draw that. So we get an A, B, C here on the big scale, and this A leg is an A, B, C of its own. And actually, if you get in here, there's actually a smaller scale too, where you get an A, B, C along the A leg of that one. So it's a cyclical cycle in the worldwide monetary system, and this does not have to do with Bitcoin, but it's affecting every single asset class, and you see the same patterns in every single chart. And you're getting these reversal patterns. And Bitcoin, well, I have to get back in on the hourlies or something to look at the topping pattern here, but what we're getting in most of the stocks is a double topping pattern, just like the S&P. And then some of the stocks, such as Tesla, got a parabolic kind of island topping reversal, or some of the oil tankers getting island tops. There's a couple hypey ones that got parabolic kind of island tops, but the majority of the stocks are just getting a double top and a turnover. And then the stocks that didn't bounce very well are just getting like a weak turnover here, like airlines and silver and Bitcoin, and things that didn't bounce that hard out of the bottom are just getting a weak kind of turnover move here. But I would expect Bitcoin to come down with the S&P next leg here, and this has nothing to do with Bitcoin. It's just like if Bitcoin is a very good monetary metal, it's going to come down now. Gold is going to come down now. If it is a very, very bad monetary metal, sorry, it's not metal, a bad monetary asset, it doesn't matter if it's a good or a bad monetary asset. It's going to come down with the stock market. And then how good of a monetary asset it is depends. That determines how high the bounce is going to be. And this is not investment advice. Oh, and please, I'm trying to publish this one through TradingView. And TradingView is a pain in the butt. Like, these videos crash and they fail to upload, and I lose all my work. And then half the time when I do actually get it processed, like, it won't even let me publish them publicly. So if I do manage to get this one up on TradingView, please be aware that like 90% of my videos at this point are going up on YouTube, and they're not going up on TradingView. And if you're listening, TradingView support staff, like, you guys need to fix your upload platform and have some kind of local way to save these videos to upload to your platform, because this uploading system sucks. So that's just the outlook here of why Bitcoin is doing these movements, and Bitcoin is not doing these movements. This is the same wave pattern from the worldwide monetary contraction that we're seeing in every single stock and every single sector and every single monetary asset is doing these exact same shapes. And I think we need to give Bitcoin a little bit of a rest until we get out of this insane monetary contraction cycle, and then we can look at. So yeah, I mean, I guess for a target for Bitcoin right now, if it rips down, I guess I can do that. So a general down move in Bitcoin doesn't indicate the size of the move, and it has definitely been smaller downs than the stock market. So, and we have this really strong support line here. So I wouldn't be very surprised if we come down here to this support line right now, and that'll be in the middle of June or like the beginning of June. That we'll be getting down and testing this area out, and then the next monetary expansion here that we should be getting for a few months, we'll probably span this thing again, and then we can take a look at a big long-term reversal in Bitcoin and which direction that might go. So hope this was interesting, and I hope this thing gets published. And this is not investment advice. Please hit the like button, and happy trading.